everyone? Welcome back to the XFL Fan Zone, and today was mini camp for my beloved New York Guardians down at West Point, home of the Army Black Knights. Yep, this was cool to walk around with this for a day. Anyway, it was a fun day. The Guardians did everything pretty good. We got up close, up to the 10-yard line of the field. Everything was awesome. Just to add a point here, I specifically asked about Matt McGloin, who made the call on it. Was it Alva Luck first, or was it Kevin Gilbride? And John Peterson, who's one of the scouts and player personnel of the Guardians, who you'll see a lot in this video, he said it was Gilbride's call. He said Alva Luck presented him with a bunch of candidates throughout the whole league. He made it clear to Alva Luck that he was the guy he wanted. He filled his requirements, and that's how we got Matt McGloin. So there you go. As far as the day goes, it went fast, and I can tell you, making this video was very difficult because between switching on from photography mode to video mode is very difficult, and when you're taking pictures and you're taking videos and you're switching, you actually miss a lot. I mean, the day went by quick. I mean, we got there around 1:45, and it seemed like it was already 4 o'clock and it was time for us to go. So it goes so fast that for a while I had to put down the phone and just enjoy everything there and be a fan myself. And I met a lot of cool people. One of them was Peter Schwartz. If any of you old XFL New York Hitmen remember, Peter Schwartz was our play-by-play guy for the New York, New Jersey Hitmen on WABC Radio, 770 AM. He was there today. I asked him, are we going to get a radio contract? And he said, so far, they have not announced nothing yet, but he wants to apply for the job again. So I think that would be pretty cool. Met a lot of the coaches, assistant coaches, and players at the end. Again, there's so many people clamoring for photographs. Chances are I'll be on the Guardians Twitter page from today's event more than I have my own photos, believe it or not. So hopefully you'll see me on there also. So here we go. Here's the video of what happened today.
Round up, and then we're going to go into practice. So I'm going to direct the question to Trip first. Trip, we had to draft over 70 players. We had a 2-day draft at first and then a supplemental draft. We signed our quarterback and assigned him here. Talk a little bit about acquiring our players.
Yeah, first of all, thank you guys for coming out. It's awesome to have you guys all here and to see what's really the start of something special with the Guardians and the XFL. From our standpoint, we've been working on building this team since June. John and I traveled to 8 different showcases in 8 different XFL cities, looking at all the players, usually 100 to 150 players per showcase, who were trying out to join the league. Then we also went to NFL training camps this summer, where we hit 24 out of 32 NFL teams to see NFL players that might not be quite good enough to make the NFL, but that could be really good at this level. JP and I both were in the Alliance of American Football. JP was with San Antonio, and I was with Arizona. And so we had a really good feel for this kind of this caliber of player. And that's carried over in terms of our draft process, where we met from September 9th all the way through October 15th, every day, just about working on our draft boards. And so the way that the league set it up, there were 4 specific buckets. The first was the offensive skill bucket, which was obviously offensive skill players. The second was the offensive line bucket. The third was defensive front 7. And the fourth was the secondary. So it really helped to sort of compartmentalize the different areas. So you wouldn't have one team that was all offensive line and one team that was all skill. It really helped to sort of streamline the field, so to speak. We were fortunate to be able to add, as Gina said, 70 players in that first draft, as well as our quarterback, Matt McGloin. And then we had a supplemental draft in mid-November where we added another 9 players. So, at this point, the fruits of our labor is what you see on the field. We've been very excited to see how everybody's done so far, and hopefully you guys will see that as well today.
Now, John, you've been around since this team was like a twinkle in Coach Gilbride's eye. Talk a little bit about the experience and what you've experienced so far since you've been with Coach on this.
You bet. Yeah, between Trip and I've got 46 years in the industry. Trip's got 20-some. We've both been in the National Football League for a long period of time. So And this is exciting, this is fun. You know, both and I, Tripp and I were in the alliance, we saw the building of that process. Unfortunately, it disintegrated at one point. The season was never completed after 8 games. So this venture is exciting because he and I have been through lots of ups and downs with the prior league, the spring league, and now the opportunity to capitalize on that and make it very easy. So, yeah, like any organization that you start, there's challenges that unforeseen that come up, from player personnel to the actual operations on a daily scale, on a larger scale. You know, like right now, I'm actively working on the schedule for training camp, and that's only about 3 weeks away, trying to get those things going, you know, and all the little details that come into it from an operations standpoint, from lodging to meals to buses to you name it, all the actual paper that comes from the league itself, and contracts and insurance, and you name it. It's an industry. And so for a startup like that, it takes time. But it's challenging and it's rewarding. You know, what you see on the field out there is a combination that Tripp's been leading us so well, and it's a combination of working with these players, research, not only research on film and watching them play, but research of them as people, how they act, how they react, you know, and then exploring all different avenues, calling our NFL friends, getting ideas from them. How did he do in this kid? You know, I watched him at Cincinnati, but you had him the year before Green Bay, and probably 90% of the players you're going to see out there have been in the National Football League, okay? Have been in camps, have been under contract. Our quarterback's got 5 years in the NFL, Max McGloin, and he's been a starter with the Oakland Raiders. So you'll see that. These aren't just college kids, these are pro athletes, okay? And now we're putting together with the coaching staff, marvelous job that they do. They're teachers, they're really teachers, and you can see the development. Tripp made the comment of the day, we really had some action for the first time yesterday, and wow, these guys are flying around. These guys are really putting things together. So it's a really excellent coaching staff, and coaching staff also with a high caliber of experience in the National Football League, and so it's coming together. It really is.
Well, this event really is about you guys here today. So we want questions from you. Does anyone, have a question for Tripp or for John about any of the players, the roster? What we're going to see inside is you guys are going to be walked through that. But please, come forward, ask us any questions, and yeah, go for it.
So, first year league, first year a bunch of guys don't know each other maybe. What do you guys do from the ground up to build up a culture when you really don't have a bunch of guys that work together, on the field yet?
Yeah, I think it really starts with the coaching staff, because obviously they're the first point of contact when the players are coming in the building. In terms of making sure the guys know each other's names so that they're able to communicate on the field. I think we certainly came at the draft preparation with an eye for guys who are going to be team-centered first, as opposed to new guys. That was definitely a big discussion point for us throughout the process. But certainly as the coaches are working with them, the ability to serve and be a servant to others is certainly a big emphasis for them, and the ability to communicate. Hopefully it shows up for what you guys are watching today.
In terms of the showcase, what do you look for in an O-lineman?
Well, it's a big man's game. So, certainly, height, weight, speed, what we call measurables, those are important, no doubt, for a starter. There's basically 4 concepts when you're looking at football players. First thing you do is identification. Identify the players. Next after that is to qualify the players. After that is to evaluate, and then to recruit, or in our case, select and draft. Okay? Those are 4 phases that go into the process. So when we start out with the showcase, it's phase 1. We're seeing players that we've never seen before. They're at the showcase in DC or here in the New York area or California, and we're trying to identify. There's 150 guys. And we've got a script like this that says their height, weight. We don't have height, weight. We're going to do that during the process. And so we're trying to identify these players. And then after that, when we identify some, even in the same day, we're going to watch them move and so forth, and how strong they are perhaps. If we get all these ways to try to qualify them, okay? Then we get, after they're qualified, then we go to the evaluation stage. So we may be out of the California, Los Angeles combine showcase. There's 8 guys that really, out of 150, there were 8 players that really caught our eye. That we identified, we qualified them, now let's evaluate them. How are we gonna evaluate them? Certainly on tape, pro tape if they have it, college tape, combination of both, and go from there. And then the next thing, of course, is the drafting process. Okay, Hans, go ahead.
How different will the game be from the NFL?
I'd say it's, you know what, it's similar, right? In terms of the ability level, it's obviously a little bit of a notch down. I think the biggest difference is going to be some of the rules. So, for instance, after a touchdown, there's going to be no extra point. Everything's going to be either a 1-point play where you go from the 2-yard line, or a 2-point play where they're going from the 5, or a 3-point play where they're going for it from the 10. In overtime, each team gets the ball for 5 plays. 1 offense and 1 defense at one side of the field on the 5, the other team on the other side of the field. So the 5 plays, each team goes back and forth. I mean, it's almost like soccer penalty kicks in overtime. Another couple different rules. If a punt goes out of bounds inside the 35, it comes out to the 35. If a punt goes in the end zone, it comes out to the 35. So some similar stuff like that.
The time clock is 25 seconds, not like 40 or 25.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
You notice the clock right behind you. That's the second day we've had the clock. And yesterday, we just put it out there just for them to get an idea. Hear that buzzer go off at 0, and all of a sudden it's set back at 25 again. We've got to get the players and coaches oriented. This is a much faster game. Okay, a much faster game.
Are kickoffs different
Yes.
from the NFL?
Yeah, so basically the kickoff unit for each team will be aligned 5 yards from one another and about 10 to 15 yards in front of the returner. So it eliminates a lot of the collisions that you see in the NFL.
Cool. Anything different with the field goal at all?
Field goal should be the same.
Same.
Question about acquiring players. Can you do that like players from the NFL that have been either now free agents or press offer teams? Are you allowed to acquire them or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, so every player goes through what's called the draft pool, meaning the league signs them, and they all have to take a background check. And then at that point, every team in the XFL has the ability to either to draft them or to claim them on waivers. So we don't get to say, hey, we saw you got cut, we want to sign you. It has to go through the league first. So every team theoretically has a crack at somebody.
How's instant replay going?
Instant replay.
Like our challenge.
I don't think there's coaches' challenges. I think it's all centralized, to my understanding.
And the official rule book is actually almost done and finalized. It'll be out right after the new year. So a lot of this stuff is kind of the worst kept secret. But that's all going to be finalized ahead of the season. So you guys will look out for it very, very, very soon.
Is there going to be any continuity between year 1 and year 2 of the teams, or will they be redrafted?
They're still kind of finalizing that. I would be surprised if there wasn't some type of continuity, just because I think if you're trying to build fan avidity and a solid fan base, you're obviously going to want to be identifying with specific players.
That was actually my question, if you're gonna have a rights to a player. I think the player signed 1-year contracts.
Correct.
Right, if a guy doesn't sign with an NFL team, would he come back to this team, and would you have the right to bring him back?
For the most part, I think the answer to that is going to be yes. I'm not sure it'll be for the entire roster.
Right.
I'm reminded of in 1989, the NFL had what was called Plan B free agency, where the NFL teams were able to protect a certain number of players and some moved. So I don't know exactly what's going to be final, but I think it might be something in that direction.
That'd be good.
Now, we drafted a number of players, 70, but we also had a few that decided after we drafted them, the night before, 2 weeks before, we're calling them and recruiting them, and hey, you want to play? And then, oh yeah. And then we had a couple of guys that, we drafted, and they, last night I signed up. So, but we have the rights to those players too.
Any rumor that there's going to be a draft at the NFL season's over to pick up practice squad players? Is that any truth to that?
It wouldn't be surprising. I don't know that anything's been set in stone yet, but
Okay.
certainly if there's practice squad players that want to play and that could help us, I think we'd be open to it.
Okay.
Anything else? Yeah.
So I know the NFL has a lot of issues with player issues or off the field with tolerance and what discipline is. Is there a established set rule hey, if a player does this is what they get suspended or repercussions? Because obviously I know the NFL has this issue and it's a constant thing with the XFL. Establish a code of conduct and what is expected and what they cannot do, if hands or butts.
Well, from an initial policy perspective, to kind of help curb a lot of that, all of the players that were eligible for the draft pool had to go through an extensive background check. So there were certain elements that precluded them, and an argument can be made for sometimes the past behavior is a good indicator for future behavior. So you're looking at high character individuals that are in this player pool and actually able to play for the XFL. I know that the XFL has been determining individual policies that outright to kind of pull from a certain kind of individual. So.
Are the coaches safe from being poached during the season from an NFL team?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, they're under contract.
Okay.
So the players, once they sign the contract, we got here in the minicamp, that's it. They cannot go back to the NFL, and the NFL team is a call. Now, up to that point, you know, even if we drafted them, we could go back if we had the rights to do whatever. We're anxious to see when the season's over, what falls down the list of players.
Are all the practices gonna be here, or are you gonna have any in New Jersey, or?
We're actually practicing for the most part up near our facility up in Waldwick for the most part. So we're here on weekends for now. In season, I don't know that we'll be back here next year.
Is this the only one that's gonna be open to the public?
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay.
All right. So we're gonna
Any rumor to where the championship game's gonna be played yet? Do we know that?
It will be in one of the XFL cities. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
All right. So if y'all turn around and head through that door, you'll be directed by our staff members over there.
Anybody who has not checked in, please do so before entering.
Yes. Yes. Hi. I'm so excited.
All right, Stephen McCrane. I'm assuming that's your son.
Yeah.
We are live at the Foley Center at West Point, New York, on the University Army Black Knight campus. This is the New York Guardian Open Mini Camp. Well, everyone, that ends part one of our Guardians minicamp video. I'm gonna put a couple more together. This would have been like a 50-minute video, so I decided to just do it piece by piece. It's just easier that way. So stay tuned for part two of Guardians minicamp. We hope you enjoyed this video. I think one or two more are coming. Definitely one, possibly two. We'll talk to you later.